We are simply in the realm of wanting to help without being asked. Yes, because it doesn't have a positive effect. If you have a totally positive effect, if you don't really deal with yourself, I want to release someone in an identity that kills them. And she is proud of it. And there's really a protective formula for me now, because otherwise I always get so upset when I see things are actually getting better. 4 people are carrying a millstone, as I say. But you have a trailer and you have a carrier. And why don't you do that with that thing? No, we have always done it this way, and we are proud of what we can endure. Yes, that's the whole area of uninvited healing, which we could also address. So, first of all, it is a protective formula that I tell myself that for him or her, it is the most beautiful and best thing to be like that, or the most beautiful and best thing that he or she can imagine. Even if someone else smokes or eats meat or something like that, imagine that I want to take the sausage away from you all this lunchtime. This is actually the basic form of love. The other person can be as he is. I don't go into the evaluation. I've really trained myself this sentence as a formula so that the yes works, and I don't say what stupid meatsy. They're supposed to die on their sausage like the poor animal or something else that's funny to them. But no, they'll probably like the thing or remember it from home or have a nice crunching feeling or something like that. First of all, really, this is a different energy. I'm not putting myself above it. You are you, and that's your way. And that also applies to illnesses and symptoms. Namely, as a core example, unasked for healing my ekigator. And so, he was there over 30 years ago. He just fell down and at least survived. But since then, his talus bone, which is a very central part of the foot, has split and hasn't grown together after a lot of treatment. Chronic pain patient. So of course I found it incredibly exciting. I thought, now Sabine is coming. So he tells me, yes. When I watch him carefully, I ask, well, Eki, what do you want? I have x-rays. It will always be like this, and the doctor always says, and so on. Because he thinks, okay, he always tells himself the same story and tells himself very vehemently. I still think that's stupid. So, and then he was with a female doctor as his first partner for over 20 years. And she was also a pain therapist, anesthetist, also trained specialists and things like that, and also went to conferences and things like that. Yes. And then yes, she couldn't take away his pain. Then I think, now a Sabinchin is coming. So I tried out everything about distance treatment first, without telling him, because I didn't have a mandate. It was clear to me. And that was difficult at the beginning because Bone himself always told me that I wouldn't let anyone else get in here and stuff like that, because it was also messed up. Unfortunately, the box, because he was in such a bad mood and always gave reasons for it. I have today foot. Then I thought, maybe if you take the pain away from him, he'll be really cute. We can shorten that. It was a lie. But that was one of my big interests at first. Instead of me reading his thoughts straight away, yes, because when you're in love, you do so much. It's an extremely perceptual phase. So I tried to log into the system and then sent love to the ankle so that he could get out of his alert state and somehow get in touch with me. And then it became increasingly clear to me. This is not acute pain at all, but rather he is expecting when he walks that it will be pain, something automatic. He's always created it through expectation, and there's so much secondary tension in his body that he should finally get on an infrared mat and physiotherapy again, and then we'd see things again. But I didn't find any major causes of pain acutely in the bone. Well, but then talk about it again. I have it here in the recording. And 30 years ago, you mess up everything else, but you have the recording. Do it the other way around. So I thought, this is actually easy. I don't even have to materialize anything on the bone. Now we just delete something in his brain in his pain center, and we first delete all the memory of previous pain. At first it was a theory based on perception, and then increasingly he stopped moving, so he didn't leave the room in our finally converted upper floor. The blinds stayed down, and he just stared at the computer. Now I wanted to know, what have I done now? Eki, what is it? You don't even move anymore. Yes, so, year 51, that's now, and yet North German wasn't the most talkative, so I increasingly found out severely depressed, why he was no longer in pain. It's gone wrong again. What's wrong now when you're no longer in pain? The whole 30 years are in vain. And stuff like that, everything. Yeah, that lasted about 14 days, but I really had to... It cost me 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours per day, so I've already invested a lot of energy in Sweetheart. But I was very proud of what this anesthesiologist couldn't achieve. But the result was that it was healing without a mandate. Increasingly, in his words, he would say, he pulled himself together again, so he left the room and began the heavy gardening work. Go away. I just watched again. Go away. Well, I told him so afterwards. Oh, that's nice or something, and trolled me. Then he started transporting, paving slabs, exposed aggregate concrete, and things like that. I say, Eki, you're only wearing sneakers, which also have orthopedic shoes on them, otherwise you'll have to wear them to stabilize your ankle. He left it out until he finally felt pain again. But he then had to admit that his left foot was affected, the right one was affected, as was the attribution. There he is, my pain again. And that's the crazy thing. So that was the extreme example for me. People make an identity out of it, and this, I suffered for nothing or something like that. You then take away such a central building block that they then largely... That's such a beautiful descriptive story. So this is another exemplary Eki. That's also the case if you suddenly take someone else's depression away or something like that. That doesn't help at all. So with my head clear, I'm of course a bit vain so that no customer complains. So then I seal my work again at the end so that the energy cannot return. But sometimes people load themselves back into everyday life. A little bit of new energy, but it doesn't stick very firmly. There's dust on the newly painted dresser, so to speak. It works. But this energy that you pump into others if you don't know a few tricks, how does it stay? It's like a kidney. So you transplant something and the organ is rejected because people cling to a suboptimal identity. But you can transfer that one-to-one, and many people with such pedagogical overzealousness or such social worker savior zeal want to take a drug away from someone or cure them of alcohol or something like that without a mandate. It's analog nonsense. And the nastiest thing ever, ultimately, when you are in love and speak mantras, you cause entire systems to crash together. So it's such a systemic thing now, you don't have to do that much. That's why they always want to prevent you from changing. They want you to stay the old ones. This is crazy. Why are you doing this? They call you to account. What did Eki say when I started with minimalism? Say, you're completely bola, you want to throw that away now? That's not possible. Say you have to go to the clinic or something, that costs money too. And so he's completely out of control, because the worst thing for people is not to talk anymore. But when you do it, when you just do it, and you can't stop yourself, and in doing so, you show them that there is another way, where they have always claimed is not possible. Need. You have to have a sofa, or you have to have 6 glasses, and so. And in that you are different now, and simply, where I no longer care about the other person, because that is a battle energy at some point, pull a rope like that. This costs both of you energy, but if you are simply no longer in the rebellion, but are in that position and don't want to proselytize at all, then it will be bad for the others. And that's why I recommend this to you the most. So simply, Eki doesn't care whether it's depression or pain, because I was just happy, but not like I'm happy or anything like that. Then he starts to ponder, and if he sees that the empty living room is okay at the beginning, yes, then I can put a cupboard in there. Or there's room here, wouldn't you like another shelf from me? No. But that's still the old IKEA wood, they're no longer available today. And so, no. The others concentrate on you because they continue to be greedy for your warmth, or because they really like you, and in doing so they constantly load up on your new thoughts and your feelings. And that's the worst. You're really destroying networks, and it's not that strenuous. And in this respect, it is more strenuous to try to save someone without a mandate. And it's super easy to build up massive generator strength and stay in the system.